Hey everyone, today we're gonna try something new. It's a site called ClassKick, and I set up an assignment on there. We are going to determine if a fraction is close to 0, half, or 1. Okay, but I'm just gonna go through this so you know how to maneuver through this site. So you're gonna come onto Canvas, and depending on your period, you're gonna click here, and it is going to take you to ClassKick. You're gonna write your name here, all right? Like your whole name, okay? All right, so this is what it looks like. And there's going to be different slides for you to look at. And sometimes you're going to have to read something, or you're going to have to write something, or it's going to be a drag and drop activity. So this is just what the cover looks like. And the activity is close to 0, half, or 1. So we're going to determine whether fractions are closer to 0, closer to the middle, half, or closer to 1, being almost the whole thing. All right, so that's the first page, and then you're going to click up here to go to the next page. You're just looking at that page. This is another read page, so you don't actually have to write anything on here. This is talking about benchmark fractions. Benchmark fractions, decimals, and percents are really important fractions and decimals that we've pretty much been working on for years, like half and fourth and whole. Okay, so this is just a little graphic here to show you some really important fractions. 1/3, you're going to memorize that that's worth 0.33, and it's actually a repeating decimal, and it'd be the same as 33%. Okay, these are all things we're going to be learning over the next few weeks, and that's just a resource for you to look at. Okay, so here I was writing about the number line broken into tenths, and whether we're doing decimal or fraction. Anything that's less than half, anything that's less than 0.5, this says, is less than half. Anything greater than 0.5 is more than half. And the closer you get, the higher the numerator on your fraction, or the greater your number in your decimal, the closer to 1 you're going to get. Okay, just something for you to look at and read. Okay, this is generating equivalent fractions. You're actually going to write on this one. And this is a kind of a cool site because up here I could go grab a text box, and then I could just draw in a text box if I want. I could say this is 21. And I know it's not, but if I wanted to change the color of my text, I could come up here to this little T, and I could make it red. First I have to highlight it, I guess, and then I can make it any color I wanted. Okay. I can make it bigger by pushing this T plus for text plus. Okay, you can do it however you want. Or I could grab up here in the toolbar, there's a pen mode, and you can write if you want to. Okay, and up here, let's see what else they have. They have the highlighter. So if you needed to highlight something, you could do that. If you make a mistake and you need to erase, it won't work on the type, but it'll work on the pen or the highlighter. And here's that text option again to draw a text box. If you wanted to, you could draw a line like that if we were doing something where we needed lines, but we don't, so I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. I'll go arrow back to undo that. And there's a microphone up here where you could make a comment. There is a camera here where we could take a picture or upload a video from the computer. So it's kind of got some neat features. There's also this little hand up here that you can push if you have a, if you need help. Please help, please check. Okay, so that's what this is going to look like. And no, this is not 21, so do not write 21 there. Okay, here you are dividing each bottom number, each denominator by 2 to get the number on top, the numerator. So half of 20 is 10, half of 26 is 13, half of 96 is 48, and you're going to fill that out because we're dealing with halves today. Here is a drag and drop. And this is cool. You are going to look at this number line. It is broken into eighths, and I know it's eighths because I can count the spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces. I already have 5/8 labeled there for you, but you're going to come up here and drag on the fractions to where you think that they will be. You know, clearly we're going to start with 1/8 right here, but you're going to do that. And then you're also going to use these to compare fractions down here. Like 3/8 is greater than 1/4. Well, I know that half of 8 is 4. This is a lot smaller. 1/4 is a lot smaller than 1/8. Remember, we can also do our butterfly here. We could go 8 times 1 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. I grabbed the highlighter instead of the pen. Okay, so then I would have, remember we compare 8 compared to 12. 3/8 is larger. Okay, and remember my inequality sign always points to the smaller number. I'm going to erase that. Okay, but yeah, that could be, you can do the butterfly there if you want. But you're going to drag these. If you think that, oops, you got to go get the grabber, the select mode. If you think something's equal, you would put the equal sign there. If you think it's less than, if you do the work, do the butterfly, and you find out it's less than, you would put the less than sign there. Okay. And then our 6th page, this is a drag and drop sort. You're going to look at these fractions and decimals and decide if it's close to 0, close to half, or close to 1. Well, let's look at 11/12 for a minute. If we take half of 12, 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 6/12 would be half. 11 out of 12 is a lot bigger than half, and it's almost the whole thing. If I had the whole thing, I would have 12 out of 12. Okay, so I know that that is close to 1. Now let's look at something like a decimal here. All right, so for this, I want you to think about it like if it's money. 82 cents. Are you close to a $50, a full dollar, or 0 money? Nothing, 0 cents. Okay, well, this would be like 82 cents. Half would be 50 cents. This is much closer to having the whole thing. It's closer to 1 than it is closer to half. I'd say anything over 75 would be closer to 1. Okay, so we're going to put those back. But you're going to fill all these up and you're going to decide where things go. Okay, like if 0.5 is half, 0.4 would be really close to half. So I would consider 0.4 being close to half. Okay, so you're going to do that. This one, this is like having 1 cent. Now you know that that is closer to 0 than it is to a whole dollar. 1 cent, 50 cent, or a dollar. It's closer to 1 cent. It is 1 cent. Okay, so that is what we are going to be doing with this activity. Last page, there's 7 slides. This is a multiple choice. Use what you know about using numerators and denominators to determine which is the closest to 0, half, or 1. And here's our question. Which fraction is closest to 1? 5/10, 2/9, 11 out of 12, or 5/11? And then which number is closest to 0? 11/15, 3/100, 1 in 25/100, or 5/8? And you are just going to choose a multiple choice. And the cool thing about this is I will be able to view your slides kind of like we do in Nearpod, but it's just something different. And I like some of the different tools that they have here. And I like that we can do a drag and drop, which you cannot do on anything else. And oh, and check this out, this little 4 square right here at the top. If I click that, I can see all my slides at once if I want to go back to look at something. Okay, so I might be like, oh, let me go look at what, let's see, a decimal of 0.825 looks like. Well, if I go over here, 0.8, they don't even have it on here, but 0.5 is the biggest that it goes. So 0.5 is half, so 0.8 would be much bigger than half, wouldn't it? Okay, so that's it for now. Let me know what you think of this.